the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle and what women should know about their body and how it changes throughout the month.
So the simplest way I could explain it, try to give like a 2-minute overview, is you have 4 different phases of your cycle. So a lot of people, they use the word cycle to mean their period, but when I say cycle, I mean like the whole thing, including the time in between your periods. So your hormones are fluctuating each and every day. So starting out with your period, that's day 1 of your cycle. That's considered the menstrual phase. And that's the one we're most familiar with, right? It's when you're bleeding. And then after your period ends, you go into the follicular phase. So this is actually when the process of your ovaries are developing, and the follicles in your ovaries are preparing for ovulation. And that's when an ovulation is when an egg is released. So it happens usually about 2 weeks before your period. But it does not always happen on day 14. So if you're trying to get pregnant or you're trying to avoid pregnancy, or you just want to get in sync with your cycle, then knowing that day is really important. And there's lots of different ways to tell. But your energy all throughout that is kind of like spring and summer. You can think of like your energy picks up, you feel more energetic and a lot more creative and social. Your communication skills are actually a lot better. And then after you ovulate, then you go into your luteal phase, and usually this one gets a lot of hate, or people are like, because they think of like PMS and like mood swings and crazy cravings and all those things. But actually, that's probably my favorite phase, because it's not supposed to be like that. It can be so amazing. So in that phase, you're going to feel a little bit more serious, focused. It's the longest phase. It lasts ideally anywhere from like 12 to 16 days. Most people, though, it's shorter than that because their hormones need a little support, which is why you have PMS and stuff like that. And then, then once your period starts, that's the next cycle. So if pregnancy were to occur, then that would start during your luteal phase, and that's why you don't get a period. So, those are the 4 basic phases. And you can kind of think of them like seasons of the year. So you have your period, which is like winter. Things are really slow, really chill. Hormones are really low. And then you've got spring and summer. Yeah, spring and summer with the follicular ovulatory phases. And then luteal phase where things are kind of like fall, where things start to wind down, cool down a little bit. So...
And where you really just want to be under a blanket and like not talk to anyone with like a warm drink or something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. I think it's super helpful that you talked about the like symptoms, for lack of a better word, because I think that some people have trouble kind of recognizing or syncing, for lack of a better word, they're like weeks to what am I feeling? And especially if, like you said, and I've read through one of your emails in the newsletter, is like oftentimes if you have an unhealthy period, those periods start to blend together or they last way longer than they're supposed to. So some people might be hearing you say those symptoms and they're like, I only have that for a day. Like, what's wrong with me? Or like this fall period is lasting way too long and it shouldn't be that way. So as we kind of get more into these questions, I'll be glad to hear you explaining like how we can fix that. And so to kind of continue, how can women align their daily routines like exercise, work, self-care with the different phases of their cycle?
So unless you're on birth control, then you have a cycle. So your hormones are fluctuating each and every day. That includes hormones like estrogen, progesterone, those are the main 2, also like FSH, LH, there's a bunch. But whether you realize it or not, like they are changing and affecting your mental health, your physical health, every system in your body. It's not just your reproductive system. So knowing what's happening is really, really key. And I'd say with like exercise and work and that sort of thing, you just want to treat it like the different seasons. That's the easiest thing.
Okay.
And so like things that you naturally love in spring and summer, when things are really fun, really social, there's a lot of new beginnings and starting points. Like that's the vibe of those two phases. I kind of lump them together because they feel really similar.
Okay.
I'd say that like the ovulatory phase, it's really short. It's considered to be really short anyway, like only 3 to 4 days long. So I just kind of lump it all with the follicular phase because it just is like peak energy, peak socializing, like peak fun and creativity. So some people have symptoms around then too. That's another thing to pay attention to. A little red flag that your hormones might need a little extra support too. But yeah, so like that's going to feel really natural. And then in your luteal phase, like when things are slowing down, the most body changes happen during the luteal phase. So you actually need more calories during that phase because your metabolism increases. Your body reacts differently to like insulin and like the digestion and what you're eating. Like exercise is a big one too. Your body will have a harder time with like more intense exercises. It's going to put more effort to doing the same things you were doing a week ago. I kind of like see the menstrual phase, like your period, as both like an end and a beginning. When with your period, like, I mean, it's really normal. Your hormones are at their lowest point. You're just going to feel really chill. A healthy period, like you're going to feel really slow, low energy. So even like when I had like my best period ever, I wasn't like, let's go host a party. I was like, I got function on, I feel fine, but like I'm not feeling like crazy out there or anything like I might when I'm ovulating.
Sure.
So yeah, it totally affects every aspect of your life, and getting in sync with that and understanding how you personally feel, because everyone's got their own personality too. Like if you're more introverted or actually more extroverted, like, or even what your hobbies and you know, things like that are, that's going to vary person to person. So I always encourage women that, like, if you look up a cycle syncing chart, those could be a helpful starting point to start to understand what's happening, but it's not another protocol to follow. Like, you really want to understand, like, get in tune with how you feel in each phase and start to tune into that and listening to your body more than anything.